Hello, and welcome to Morning with a Mentor. My name is Diller Schwartz, and I am your host. Please join me on Wednesday mornings at 8:30 a.m. while I interview top talent in our KW Austin family.
And sometimes a win isn't that you did something great or exciting. Sometimes it's like, I dealt with a really hard client and I did not lose my temper.
Let's get started. All right, so Alice, talk to us about what are your priorities today?
Mental health.
Mental health. Perfect.
Physical, mental health, and, keeping things going, keeping things on track.
And you were at the gym first thing this morning, I believe, right?
I was at the gym first thing this morning.
All right. And so let's talk two different angles here on the next question. What are your residential lead gen goals today?
Follow up. So I have quite a bit of follow up that I'm working on right now. I will add some new contacts to my lead gen as well, but today is a lot of focus on follow up.
And then do you time block residential, commercial, or is commercial follow up and commercial lead gen a little different?
I time block. My life is pretty structured. I think structure gives me freedom. And I think some people think that's crazy if they've never done it, but I segment my business pretty heavily. So I have a third of my time is spent on Taylor, Texas. A third of my time is spent on residential, and a third of my time is spent on other commercial business and acquisition.
So
So,
can you explain a third of your time is spent on Taylor, Texas? What exactly does that mean?
well, we have the single largest development in the world happening in Taylor right now, and that's the Samsung plant and all the development that's going on around it. And so I have done a lot of work out there to support the landowners in getting a fair deal for their land, and also helping to protect them under condemnations, the taking of their land for public use. And so I'm pretty committed to that community out there. And I spend a lot of time out there and on that deal because it's somebody's got to protect the landowners out there.
Perfect. What's it look like for Alice to go home and just because you have, sorry, two kids, right?
I have two children, yeah.
Two children. All right. So it's the end of the day. How do you know that you've won the day? What does that look like for you going back to mental health to just take that deep breath and be present with your family and your kids?
Well, I always have goals for myself, and I run a really strict, I have a MAPS coach, and I run a strict 111 system. So every week, my goal is to take a listing, take a buyer, and put something under contract every single week. And so I know that if I've achieved any one of those things, I've won the day for sure. Um, and then my family, we do win of the day at the dinner table every night. And sometimes a win isn't that you did something great or exciting. Sometimes it's like, I dealt with a really hard client and I did not lose my temper, right? Or something like that, right? It's like you're framing your experience as a win, whether or not it's like seems like a win to somebody else. It's like, how do I control my own self to show up as my best self no matter what's happening?
Yeah, our words create our reality for sure.
Yeah, words are important.
Yep. All right. And so, all right, what's the size of your database roughly? Your residential database?
3,536.
All right, 3,536. So as realtors, we typically say that everyone in our database is our client. How many of those people do you think say Alice Duffy is my realtor?
Probably about 800 of those.
And tips and tricks, or what do you do that you're so confident in that? Because I love that you're like 800 of them.
Well, I'm very relationship oriented. I'm from Austin. I have a very big personal sphere. Um, and people knew me in real estate before I was even licensed. So they already had made that connection to me. And I've been in the game for as an investor since 2005. And I feel like I have a pretty strong community sphere.
What do you think the one thing that you do that is unique? What is the one unique thing you do to build that community and build those relationships?
I I don't know if it's unique or not, but I'm on the phone a lot, for one thing, checking in with people, whether or not it has anything to do with business, right? I really care about people. At the core of who I am is that I really truly love human beings. Um, and I'm checking on my people. I'm checking on my community a lot. I also host events at my house a lot. Like I have an epic Easter party every year. I have an epic Thanksgiving. We have, Father's Day here every year. We have Mother's Day here every year. We just hold these community events. We don't even know who's coming. They just come, right? Um, and it's gotten to the point where it's almost like, well, we have no idea how many people are going to show up. Like Thanksgiving has to be a potluck because we have never have any idea of who's coming.
So I love it. It's not always all business related. It's community related.
Yeah, I'm a pull for community. I love community. I think it's what makes the world go round.
Was there ever a point where you were nervous of like, well, what if no one shows up, or what if only five people show up?
Oh yeah, sure.
And that's
All the
fine.
time.
I prefer smaller groups and sometimes in these events that we throw.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and the thing is, it's not about who shows up. It's about them feeling loved and taken care of and wanted,
Awesome.
right? Like we just did our
Feeling.
family photo event for the year and we had like 15 families show up to get their holiday pictures done. But it's all about the invitation beforehand and the follow-up afterwards of like, hey, we missed you. We hope to see you next year, you know?
I love it. It sounds like there's an organized plan to having an event. There's the pre invitations, the ability to touch your clients and just let them know you guys are there. There's actually seeing them face to face. I'm sure that people will see on social media these other families posting with your name or thank you to your
Mhm.
team. And then there's the follow up. I love it. All
Mhm.
right. And so here's my favorite question because I learned so much from doing these interviews on this one question. You ready? You want to do buyer or seller?
Do I want to do buyer or seller?
Yep.
Either way.
All right, I'll ask the question you can pick. Okay, if you had to get one home under contract in the next 14 days or less, what would you do? Like your tushy's on the line. You're getting fired.
Uh, oh, okay. I'm
You gotta
getting
get one
fired.
home, 14 days or less. Where are you going? What are you doing?
It really depends on the home, for one thing. Like, is it new? Is it older? Like, I deal a lot in older homes and with flippers and investors.
Okay.
So I can pull an offer any day. Like, but it's always price, right?
So
But then
where are you
I have a new construction home on the market that's mine, and oof, it's a challenge right now.
so when you say you can pull an offer from anywhere, what got you to that? Like what steps did you take to build the ability to do that?
Well, I'm an investor first, and so I've always been a part of that community. I have a whole segment of my database that's dedicated to investors and developers.
So you mean
And
your database is organized?
yeah, I have tags, Command lets us do that.
Okay.
So I can just pull up all of my flippers, my investors, my uh, developers, and, be like, bring me an offer. Now, it may not be the number that the seller wants, but what will happen is they will all cluster because they're running an ARV after renovated value on it. And then I can present that and be like, this is what they're giving. choose from these four, right? Um, because if they're all coming in the same, there's a reason, right? That's the value in the market for the
Right.
home in the condition it is, and with the amount they're going to have to spend to get it back on the market in, 2024 HGTV look.
So let's talk about the new construction because I know that we have an agent on this call who kudos to you for texting me as early as you did with a deal. I love it. I love it when agents are like, I've got this. And they're putting it in front of your face. So let's talk about the new construction situation. What do you think your top three tools are to try to get that one sold or to
Price.
get it sold?
Price.
Price.
Yeah,
And
it's
what's
gonna
your
be price.
conversation with the seller sound like?
I am the seller.
Oh, okay. What's your conversation with yourself? Because actually, I think our agent is the agent on the call who has a new construction is in the same situation. She is the
Yeah.
seller as well. What's the
So I
conversation
do
in
have
your
a
head?
business partner. It's my husband.
Okay.
So we're just having that conversation. I actually had a teammate of mine pull comps for me yesterday. And we're gonna have a frank conversation where he's gonna lead the conversation on price and value with me. I bring in other agents to give me tough love, and help me see straight because you're partial, like it's affecting your bottom line and that's personal. And I think that that's dangerous. Like you got to listen to the experts and not be emotional about it. And so there has to be some separation. And I think that's key. And I think we can do that for each other as just friends, even in the industry.
So separate the emotion.
Yeah.
And
Nicholas Landis came and helped me price them. I had two houses. We did sell one. And he came over and helped me price them because he's done a lot of this work. And he,
Mhm.
was like, come take a look, come criticize my build because he's a perfectionist.
Yeah,
And he did a great job of helping me like fix that, tighten that up. That looks amazing. And that's just the Keller Williams family.
I love that you mentioned that because I feel like I've been here since 2012, there's always an expert to call. I mean, I've had to call you, I've had to bring you in on a listing before. There's just someone out there that can help and everyone just jumps in and helps.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back to Alice Duffy's business. I don't know, let's say your fourth or fifth year, maybe your sixth year in the industry. What is one thing that you were doing weekly that you committed to that you think these agents who are 1 to 2 years in the business should do? And I'm going to give you a few examples of what some agents in the past said. So we have send 10 handwritten cards weekly, schedule your open houses by 3 p.m. on Wednesdays so that you can use the next 3 days to prepare, door knock 10 homes weekly. What is something that you think, if you're building your business, what's a tip that you can share with us to do weekly?
Do the work. I mean, get up, do the work. When I did a lot of open houses in the beginning, and that was really helpful for me. And I did them in a very robust way. When I hear Wednesday, I'm like, what? I want it scheduled on Monday.
I I'm a
You know,
Monday.
I want it. I want time. I am gonna, I was cherry picking my open houses. So I'd be calling listing agents and be like, I want to hold that one open. I would, by Monday, I wanted it on there. I wanted to start promoting it. I made events. I mean, I was marketing the crud out of it. I
So
didn't expect a listing agent to do that.
let
I
me
was,
dissect this real quick so that they know. When she says, and I believe you can correct me if I'm right or wrong, she wants it on there on Monday. So you're saying you want the open house advertisement on the MLS on Monday. You guys all understand that that happens on the MLS. There's a little thing at the bottom that says this house is going to be open. And then you have to go and check Zillow, Realtor.com, the other sites to make sure. So Alice wants her open houses advertised by Monday. I love that. And then the
I want to
next step.
advertise by Monday. Then I'm going to make all my social media posts. I'm going to create an event for it. I'm going to be blasting it out to friends, family, clients, anyone I can to invite them to this event that I'm hosting. it is an event. It's not small. I I door knock and I use the rule of 40. So I did 10, 10, and 20 across the street. So 10 to either side of the house, 20 across the street. And my whole thing was I brought an invitation to the door and I just said, look, I wanted to be a good neighbor and let you know we're going to be holding an open house. If you have any problem with parking or traffic or whatever, if you want to come and see the house, please come on by, even if you're just taking a look and just curious. If you know anyone, please tell them about my open house and send them my way. This is your opportunity to choose your neighbor. And, just give me a call if you need anything. My phone number's right here. And then if they wanted to engage in conversation, I'd be asking them, like, what do you like about the neighborhood? What can I help to sell the house? What do you think? Just getting in relationship with them. And then the open house, the signs were, not 4 signs, 20 signs, 30 signs. If you could put 1 sign, I put 3. 1, 2, 3, every 5 feet, every turn, multiple signs. I hated putting out signs because it took me forever. But I wanted other people in the neighborhood to be jealous of the work that was being done for this person's open house. I wanted everyone in the neighborhood to see those signs and be like, I want her to sell my house because she's crazy, right? And so to me, it's like, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right. I'm going to do it big, and I'm going to collect everyone's info. Nobody was allowed to not give me their info. That is not a thing. I'm going to collect everyone's info. I'm going to work really hard to sell the house I'm standing in first, because that's the right thing to do. And then if that house didn't work for the buyers, I would then try and pick them up as a buyer for a different house. But first and foremost, the house I'm standing in is getting sold.
Perfect. So guys, we have about 2 minutes left, 2 or 3 minutes left. If you have any questions, drop them in. I know a lot of you are at other career or other jobs right now. Please don't get in trouble. And then if you're driving, be careful. I'm going to ask, oh, hold on. Am I getting a question here? Nope, it's just spinning. Okay, Alice, can you now give us 1 or 2 little plugs of 2 things? If you want to start studying how to get into the commercial world, where they go, what they need to attend, what classes they need to take. And then the second part of that would be, do you have open houses for these agents to assist you with and host? And if so, if you want to put an assistant or someone's email address in the chat box, you can. So let's start with small commercial plug.
So myself and Jeffrey Slanker in the Northwest office are the directors of commercial real estate for Keller Williams Austin. So if you want to get involved in commercial real estate, you should reach out to one of us. There is a specific path to get involved. It's based on, becoming a member of KW Commercial, going ahead and getting training and education. We have an entire 30, 60, 90 for that. It's tight. We've been working on it for a while, and we have a mentorship program as well that we're putting the finishing touches on.
So those of you who ask me in the PEP program about commercial and I ignore you, this is why. Because it is a total different ball game than the residential side. And I'm so excited that they finally put something together to do this. And then
I put Tom Nelson's email address into the chat. He's the one who handles all of my open houses. I actually have no idea what happens with open houses these days. He's the one who does it.
There you go. Make sure you connect with her assistant, or I'm not sure exactly his position. If you are looking for open houses, all their agents have them. They welcome you to do them. We just want you to do them right and make them sexy.
Yeah, and I just put my phone number there too as well.
All right.
If anyone needs me.
Thank you, Alice. And you guys, this one will be recorded and put up on the website. And if you don't have a title partner, please remember Texas One Title is where Alice and I are both investors, and we would love for you to send your business to our title company. Bye,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you, Alice.
Yep.